Hello, everybody. A warm welcome from UNIDO Chemical Leasing team. So we have been asked by Austria to present this innovative and sustainable business model. And we have Petra Schwager in the headquarter in Austria, Vojka Sadric in Serbia, Maria Greneva in France, and my name is Reinhard Joas. I'm sitting here in Germany. Thank you very much for the invitation for this presentation. As time is very short, I will give you a quick overview on this business model chemical leasing. Then Vojka Sadric will show you how this works in practice, and Petra will conclude and present next steps. On the first slide, you see the basic ideas, and this is that the classical business model is changed. In a classical business model between a chemical supplier and a chemical user, the payment is done for the amount of chemicals, liters, tons, kilograms. In chemical leasing, this is no longer the case. The payment is done for the benefit of the chemical. That means, for example, not the tons of solvents, but the number of clean parts, because the benefit of a solvent in a certain application is to clean parts. So the chemical supplier receives his money for the benefit of the chemicals, and this changes his point of view, because under these conditions, the amount of chemicals is no longer a factor of earning, but is now a cost driver. And this means, due to an intensified collaboration between the user of the chemical and the supplier of the chemical, the use is done in a more efficient way according to these common commercial interests. In the next slide, you see the basics, and this is really the fundamental driver behind this business model. In the traditional business model, you have these contradictory motivations. The supplier has a commercial interest to sell more. Every salesperson knows it. The more you sell, the better. While the user wants to have less chemical, just as much as is required, because for him it's a cost. In chemical leasing, where you have this benefit-oriented pricing, both have the same intention, both follow the approach, less is more, because the performance is in the middle of the business model. On the next slide, you see why there is an interest of governments and international organizations such as UNIDO to support this business model, to promote this business model, because we consider it's a triple win situation. Besides these economic advantages, what are a major reason for a sustainable, long-lasting business, there is an environmental benefit. Once less chemicals go into the processes, chemicals are used more efficiently, there is less air pollution, less water pollution, less resources used, and the waste load is reduced. Due to this intensified collaboration, we see also many cases where the risks of chemicals are lowered by this intensified collaboration. In the next slide, you see just one example to make this very practical. This is taken from use of chemicals for water purification, wastewater treatment in the petrochemical sector. Before chemical leasing, the payment was done in US dollar per gallons or kilos of chemicals purchased. With chemical leasing, it was done for the benefit of these chemicals, which are the cubic meters of purified water. And we could save with this chemical, you see here just an overview, more than 130 tons of chemicals per year due to a more efficient dosing due to this intensified collaboration by exchange of experts. This means in this business case, which was taking place in Colombia, the supplier had an annual profit increase of $200,000 US, while the user made $1 million per year more. And so you can see just of this example that this is commercially interesting, and it's interesting from a chemicals and environmental perspective. And finally, and this was calculated here, we could also save about 500 megawatt hours of energy due to this reduced consumption of chemicals. So this is a major contribution to carbon dioxide reduction. On the next slide, you see why UNIDO and what UNIDO is doing to overcome the major hurdle of this chemical leasing, which is knowing about the opportunities, spreading the information around. So UNIDO has developed several tools, website, and so on. But in particular, we are also awarding companies, institutions on a global level within the Global Chemical Leasing Award to show their case and communicate it and motivate followers. And the next Chemical Leasing Award will be in 2020 in autumn in the course of the ICCM 5 conference. And of course, we would encourage many countries and many companies to join this initiative and show their success cases here in order to continue with this triple win situation. On the next slide, this is just a short introduction on the policy dimension. So based on the original initiative from Austria and the strong support of Germany, Switzerland, there is a joint declaration which has been developed as an international way of collaboration, and it has been signed so far by UNIDO, by Austria, Germany, Switzerland, and also several other countries are now joining or have already signed. So on the list you see Serbia, Sri Lanka, El Salvador, and we expect many more. And Petra at the end of the presentation will give you some more details about this policy dimension. That's it for the overview, and I would hand now over the floor to Vojka to show you really how this works in practice, because we feel it's not just words, it's action what you can see, and it's monitoring results what you can see out of this business model.
Good morning. I am going to present you our experience on chemical leasing. Can you please give us next slide? Yes. Chemical leasing might be implemented in many industries. As you see, it is lubrication of conveyors, lubrication equipment in various industries, labeling, cleaning in place, surface protection, laundries, and so on. We have experience in all these cases, but we are going to present you two of these cases. Please, on the next slide. We are talking about case study on metal parts cleaning. When we visited the first time this company from Serbia, they had really bad and cleaning process because it was bottleneck. Consumption of solvents was very high, and also waste generation was really very high. Solvents from machines had to be changed every week, and also the worst of all was that the cleaning was not good enough. On the next slide, we are presenting unit of payment because in chemical leasing, the unit of payment is the core. In this case, unit of payment is monthly fee. This is actually defined number of working hours of cleaning machines. It is possible because this company works 24 hours, 7 days a week. On the next slide, you will see what was done and what was achieved. Solvent was substituted by modified one. And it is very important that solvent lifespan in machine was prolonged because of regularly monitor and adjusting. Also, very important, solvent is recovered now on site and supplied in and handled in a way that prevents evaporation to working environment. And also very important, it is taken back by the supplier. Very important for this company was to increase productivity, and it was improved. The time of cleaning cycle is shorter now. Also, more parts are packed in basket. There is no downtime anymore, and there is no more corrosion of machine parts. On the next slide, you can see how it looks like with solvent. Before chemical leasing, consumption of solvent was about 75 liter per ton of product. Nowadays, it is less than 10. Actually, it is 8.5, something like that. Also, waste generation, it was before chemical leasing more than 60 liters per ton of product, and at the moment it is less than 5. We also have environmental economic benefits, 30% cost reduction for solvents, but it is not all. And I have to highlight that in chemical leasing, we are talking about chemicals, but we have also very, very well results related to other resources like water, like energy, maintenance costs, and so on. In this case, annual savings are about 100,000 euros. And on the next slide, I will present in short case study bonded of boxes. It is also case study from Serbia. In this case, adhesive was substituted, and according to the properties of adhesive, process parameters were changed. Pressure and temperature lowered, and we have energy cost savings, cleaning cost savings. On this picture, you can see tank for melting of adhesive after 6 months, and down you can see the same tank, but after 3 years. So maintenance costs are really, cleaning costs are really lower. Also, maintenance costs because this old adhesive clogged nozzles and hoses, and they had to be changed pretty often. That is also a result of this project. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to present to you Chemical Leasing. Thank you to Volkan Reinhardt for the excellent presentation. My name is Petra Schwager, and I am coordinating the Chemical Leasing program, the Global Chemical Leasing program from the side of UNIDO. I assume most of you are familiar with UNIDO. We are the organization of the United Nations to bring forward inclusive and sustainable industrial development, aligned with SDG 9. Our headquarters is in Vienna, and I would say more than 15 years ago, we started the development and the promotion of chemical leasing. At that stage, together with the Austrian Ministry of Environment, we were later on supported. We received strong support, and we still receive strong support from the government of Germany and Switzerland, who signed with us the joint declaration for chemical leasing. And a few years later, this was also signed by Serbia, El Salvador, and Sri Lanka. Let me just touch a little bit on this joint declaration, why we invite also other countries to join this declaration. It is a declaration to join hands with us in the promotion. There are no financial requirements or obligations involved with this, but our signatories see chemical leasing as a modern way of doing chemicals policy, and doing chemicals policies together with industry in a way that both parties are winning. Environment, of 3 parties, no? Environment, the human being, and also the economy. So if you are interested in this, please do not hesitate to contact me, and we will be happy to follow up on this. You will find all the information on our website, and I also invite you to have a look at the award. It's upcoming again this year. We will have the award ceremony in October at ICCM 5. The call is still open for submission until mid-May. We are inviting companies, innovators, and also new ideas to be presented there. We have this year also two special awards for women-led initiatives and also startups. So please have a look, and if you could help us in the promotion, that would be most welcome from our side. Just not to take more of your time, we have shown during the last years that chemical leasing makes sense. Chemical leasing has a triple benefit. Chemical leasing is certainly fully aligned with the principles of circular economy as a performance-based business model, and where the performance is in the center and not the amount of chemicals. So as we have seen in previous presentations, it helps to use chemicals in a more efficient manner, and also bring in a lot of innovation because different partners are involved, different partners are motivated to bring in the know-how. We at UNIDO are convinced that it can be applied not only to developed but also developing countries, to different situations. We also know that chemical leasing cannot be applied to every chemicals operation, but we see a large range of potential and possible and proven applications, which we would be happy to share further with you. So thank you again for your interest, and please do not hesitate to contact us. It would be a pleasure to work with you, and thank you very much to colleagues from OECD for giving us the opportunity to share this. Thank you very much.